So, we talked about prana as physical energy. Then we talked about one of the expression of prana as kundalini, which is psychophysiological in its nature, balance of mind and body, that is spirituality. So, three things: physical expression, mental expression, and spiritual expression. So, whatever we do in the name of yoga, the idea is to bring balance to these two. Once the balance of these two is achieved, outcome of that is spirituality, the third one. So, think of it that there are people using a lot of physical energy, that means they use a lot of logic, but their intuition is too less. You need to have regulation over one first, either to reduce your uses of logic or to increase your uses of intuition. So, what gives control over logic, over physical energy? That is known as Hatha Yoga or Hatha Yoga. What gives control over intuition? That is Ashtanga Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga, but I am not referring to Vinyasa systems, I am referring to the 8 limbs. So, this is more of a meditative practice, Ashtanga Yoga, and Hatha Yoga is more of a physical practice, and the idea is to gain control over one first. Hatha Yoga says that you bring your logic under your regulation, and indirectly it will bring intuition under your regulation. So, if you know how to control your logic, that brings the intuition in. If you know how to control your intuition, that brings the logic in. That means, if you know how to control your body, for sure you gain a little bit of a control over your mind, and if you know how to control your mind, you gain control over your body, because these are not two things, one thing. They appear different at different level. Then we talked about the nadis, energy pathways. Then we went on discussing the chakras as transformers. So, today we are going to put the characteristics of chakras on the board. So, again we are going to have a spinal column, and we are going to start with the very first chakra, which is Muladhara. Element which corresponds to this is earth. The center is known as Muladhara. Yesterday when I was here, I said consciousness as the power station. In the process of manifestation, Kundalini descends from this point. So, this is the power station, energy comes here, and then this is one of the outlet of this energy. This is one of the outlet of this energy. That means the energy descends from here and then expresses itself from this center. So, this is a particular level of expression we have. So, think of it as one of the outlet. So, think of these are different color electric bulb. Electricity comes here, it gives red, here it gives a different color, here it gives a different color. So, we are going to talk about the expressions of these centers. So, if my energy flows through this center, what kind of behavior I have, and that is the characteristic of this chakra. So, there are so many people all around the world living materialistic life. That is the high point in their understanding of what life is. They think matter is the ultimate reality, and being materialistic, nothing wrong in it. It's perfect. Why? Because the dominance of earth element here. Because of the dominance of earth element, people are materialistic, nothing wrong in it. This is one expression. This is one expression. But so here Muladhara gives me the idea, or you think of it that when we were on this earth planet, used to live like an animal, even this was not open. Even this was not open. That means this was also closed. So no expression, instinctive life. So what was the moment of time this center went on opening itself? If you think of the history of human race, what gives you the idea? What was the time in the human history that we opened this chakra? No. Way back. Think of the moment we got the regulation over fire. Yes. Fire in the sense, like before we used to be scared of fire like any other animal, but now we know how to start it, now we know how to stop it. We are not scared of it anymore. We started cooking our food, we started using fire. So the moment we started using fire was a big jump. That means before we were animal, before we were instinctive, but now we are intuitive, and it seems like since then no stopping. We are finding new things, more things, new things. What was the very first step in the evolution of human history? Regulation over fire. Regulation over fire. So earth element. As soon as this center is open, I start being worried of few things. And what are those things? Food. Animals, they are not worried of their food. Even if they are not having it, they are not worried of it. Then we start being worried of sleep. Animals, they are not worried of it. Sex. And then the last thing for sure, fear. So these are the four things as the expression of Muladhara: food, sleep, sex and fear. And that means anytime I am worried of these things, that means I am worried about my own survival. I am worried about my own survival. Animal, they are also worried about their survival. There is survival instinct in them, but they are worried instinctively. We are worried intuitively. Sometimes we have sufficient amount of the food for 1 month, but even then we want to accumulate more. Animals, they don't. I would give a different example to this, and the example is, think of a deer running in front of a tiger to survive, and then there is a possibility that either the tiger is going to catch it or the deer is going to run away from the reach of the tiger. Once the deer has run away from tiger and is in the cave, is he still worried about tiger? No. As soon as the chase is over, it's over. As long as the chase is there, it's there. As long as the chase is over, they're not worried about it. Yes, but we create hypothetical fear. We just sit in the room and we are worried about many things and they're not there. So we are kind of a deer, we are worried of tiger all the time. Deers are not. Deers are not. Worried in the sense, because it seems like there is overburden of deadlines. Nowadays, especially. Deadlines, okay, you're supposed to complete this much of a work at the end of this month. Deadlines, yes. And then targets. So the kind of life we are having nowadays, it seems like we are always running in front of a tiger. And the tiger is what? It's not a real tiger, it's this deadline. It seems like as soon as we start approaching third week of the course, and it seems like still there are some poses I can't do them. I came with an idea that I'll come back as a yoga teacher with all those extraordinary body positions. But it seems like, oh my God, the time is running very fast, but my body is still not responding. because I've already set a deadline for me. There's a tiger. And I know some of the people, they force themselves too much and then they get injured because they want to obtain a lot of things in 4-week time. Animals are not worried of it. There is a possibility that a monkey will wait throughout the day for that piece of bread without being panicked. Just peacefully waits for the moment to come patiently. And here comes a time that the owner is not there or the persons are not there. Gone. But we are not having that much of a patience.